So I'm going to try really hard to keep this as close to a minute as possible this week, because I'm going to talk about something that I'm really no longer qualified to coach on, though at one point in my life I was quite qualified as a sales trainer and manager. But I'm going to talk a little bit about sales today and just what I took from those years into being a DJ and selling our DJ services. I think one of the problems that I see with a lot of DJs is they try so hard to sell their product instead of solving a problem for somebody. And most people, you have to understand, have really, truly never seen a great DJ. But they've seen mediocre and they've seen bad. Maybe they've seen good, but very few people have seen really outstanding. And so the best way I found to sell is by painting a picture whenever possible. And you do that by first asking a lot of questions. You can't assume anything. So it's always, and we've talked about this a lot in the past, there's always about asking another question, a little bit deeper. Why? Where did you see that? Tell me what that looks like for you. So when somebody says, I don't want a DJ who talks too much. Have you seen that before? Yeah. Tell me about that. Where did you see? Let them explain it to you so you know what they're talking about. Maybe they're just talking about a guy who was talking in between songs, or maybe they're talking about somebody who, said it was going to be a minute with Randy Bartlett and did 9 minutes, right? So there's a lot of different things that can mean to people. And sometimes it means it wasn't really that he talked too much. It was that he was really inappropriate or he was trying to be funny, but he wasn't funny, right? And then you got to paint him a picture. That's really the key thing. So let me explain how we might handle that same situation. So you were talking about this DJ who, for example, during the garter, made a big deal out of, making fun of the groom and making him do a dance before he could remove the garter. And then he had to put the garter on the woman who caught the bouquet. And so it's, here's how we might handle that same thing. And I'd have to know more to be exact, but I'll just give you an example. I would say something like, it's time now for the removal of the garter. So Jim, stage is all yours. That's it. And then they could go, oh, that's all there is you have to do. Yeah. How would we announce the cake cutting or the toast for the best man? Well, my introduction for the best man would probably be something like, and now to offer the first toast, please welcome the best man, Jim Johnson. That's great, right? And if that's what they're trying. Now, the flip side is, if somebody is saying, this guy just had no personality, he just made the same announcements, he sounded like he was, making announcements at an airport, then you might put a little bit more into that, paint them a little bit more of a picture. When you get to things like the father-daughter dance, right? Don't just say, well, I'll introduce the father and daughter dance. What does that mean, right? So now you have to say, well, tell me about your relationship with your dad, right? Are you guys really close? Is it sentimentally close? Is it, goofy, sarcastic, funny, close? Is it estranged? Like, all of those things are a big part of it. So then for you, have you picked your father-daughter dance yet? Right? And if they have, play that song and give them an intro right over that song. It would be something like this, right? And if she's really sentimental, close with her dad, and, the song is, I loved her first, then you might set that up a little bit and say, so I would probably set it up and say something to your dad as we were bringing him out to the dance floor. So, Jim, I know that you've been looking forward to this dance for her entire life. And the song that they've chosen for the father-daughter dance is appropriately titled, I Loved Her First. And you're saying that as you're hitting the post on the song in the office, and it's goosebumps, and they're like, oh, that's great. So paint them a picture. Don't just say, yes, we'll announce this and this and this and this, and we'll do this and this and this. Like, that doesn't do anything. It's like a photographer saying, yes, I'm going to use a camera and I'm going to use these exposures. The photographer is going to show them pictures. A videographer is going to show them video, right? you should show them video. You should paint them this picture so they can feel it. If they can feel it, then they'll be willing to pay for it. Hope that helps. Did I make a minute? Probably not. I never do. See you next week.